Three different things.
You're on Facebook, you're on live.
We're on live, wonderful. I'm just connecting to Wi-Fi.
Joe's here.
Should I put a password on? Anybody want a print agenda?
The 5 o'clock?
No, I got one on.
Yes, you already know that, huh? I better.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. Good turnout. Should we do introductions through the whole room? Maybe?
Yeah.
Would that be okay for our guests? Well, I'll start. My name is Holly Adams, and I am the current acting chair of this commission. I've been on this commission for about 2 years.
My name's Cal Elmore. I'm a member of the commission.
And I'm Barbara McDade, and I'm a member of the commission.
As am I, Laverne Stockwell.
I'm Nina Early. I'm the current vice chair.
I'm Margaret Riley.
Tristan Greenlaw.
Ann Krieg, Director of Community and Economic Development for the city.
Sarah McQuillan, I'm the development assistant.
I'm Siobhan Rigler. I'm the Director of Development and Public Relations for the Bangor Public Library.
I'm Randy Sternberg. I'm the Executive Director of the Bangor Symphony Orchestra.
I'm Sarah McCarthy, the Director of Development at the Bangor Symphony.
And I'm Jen Shepherd, Executive Director of Penobscot Theater Company.
Thanks so much, and a big welcome to our guests. Thanks for being here. First on the agenda is the meeting minutes. Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes?
I move the minutes be approved.
Second. All in favor? Good. Minutes approved. Wonderful. Report of the chair. I don't have much to report. I think I want to devote most of our time to our discussion of the grant applications. Last meeting, we talked briefly about that events calendar that's in circulation. And we agreed that at our next meeting in December, we would invite Justin Russell, who has been, I think, like the one-man show behind that events calendar, to come to the meeting. So I'll go ahead and do that. So that'll be for December, but I don't have anything else to report.
Somebody handed me an events calendar from Waterville just as a model. I'll just pass this around in case people think it might provide some ideas.
Sure, thanks, Cal. Wonderful.
And I can bring several copies next time because they are members of Maine Tourism and we have stacks of them.
Great.
If I'd have thought I'd have grabbed them.
I didn't think of it, somebody else did. Can't take credit.
So our chair of the grant committee, Jane Bragg, is not here today. Who else is on that committee? Do one of you want to lead the discussion of the grant application? Or okay.
Sure. Yeah. I was not prepared for this.
Sorry, Nina, not to put you on the spot. I didn't get a message from Jane, so I don't know if she's running late or if she's not attending, but I didn't hear from her.
There's Bangor Public, you big print if you want.
Oh, great.
And we do have 3 of the applicants, as you know,
Right.
here able to present a little bit about their applications if you want them to. Chris Packard was not able to be here. He is a teacher at the high school, so he's teaching at Gorman. But I have also, if anyone needs printed copies of the additional material he sent after the fact, I have those here as well.
Yeah, so the grants committee meeting met 2 weeks ago, and we asked Chris a couple of additional questions. She has answered, so that's in everybody's inboxes. Maybe we do just start with a couple of words from everybody who's here, since you are all here. Does that sound?
Sure, yeah, I'll just say, I think it's really awesome that 4 different arts are being represented in our applications. The literary arts, the performing arts, visual art, and music. So I think that's fantastic. I know you all sent in project narratives, which we've all read. So this isn't to put you on the spot and say, you know, we didn't read your applications and we need you to say more. But if you want to, I think giving the option. Yeah.
Holly, before you start that, could we know how much money we have?
Yeah.
Yes, shoot, I should have printed that and had it with me, but it's, you have your full 20,000. Nothing's been spent so far.
Great.
Okay, so we have the full 20,000, and what is being asked of us right now between the four proposals or applications is 13,000.
Yes. And Jane did share this with everybody also. She put together a summary.
Mhm.
And now I can't find it in my inbox, but of the different grants and how much money they're asking for.
Yeah, I think that's in our
Read that. That's in the
package.
package.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that, great.
2 5s, a 2 and a 1.
Yes.
Good job.
Did you hear me, ladies? If you didn't, 2 5s, a 2 and a 1 for 13.
So the order that I have them here is Penobscot Theater, Bangor Public Library, Bangor Symphony Orchestra, and then Christopher Packard, who isn't able to join, of course. Do we want to talk about them in that order?
Sure.
Maybe how about this, instead of, because you did all apply and we did all read them. Do we have any questions beyond what's in the application for anybody who's attending?
I think we should let them each have us.
Okay.
Because we always have in the past.
Okay.
In which case, I'll give you my chair so that you can.
So, yeah, there's,
Oh,
yeah, one right here.
yeah,
Right
over
here.
there.
Now we have to come to a chair.
We're making.
Yeah, you have to. Because I won't be able to hear you. Yeah.
You want me to go first?
Sure, Jen, thank you so much.
Yep, comes up.
All right, let me make sure I don't trip and embarrass myself in front of everybody.
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, glad to be here. Our application was for our production of Constellations by Nick Payne. It's about the multiverse, and in one of the many multiverses that this couple sort of finds themselves meeting over and over again, one or both of them are deaf. So the scenes are performed either partially or completely in ASL. We have in the past worked with Roxanne Baker, who's based in Cape Elizabeth, but she comes here and she works with local interpreters. She's an actress and a what they call a deaf master. So she would come and train local interpreters to help our actors maintain the integrity of the interpretation of the ASL scene, as well as to make sure that we are seeing those particular moments of that play through, for lack of a better phrase, deaf eyes or deaf perception. And as all hearing people, obviously we cannot access that experience. So that's what the project is. And this is also our collaboration. Constellations is also our collaboration with the Maine Science Festival as well. So we partner with them as well in this project. Any questions?
Is that the
That
same
isn't
project?
the project.
My name is Giskabe?
Oh, this is interesting. I just embarrassed myself.
No, I was great.
Like a cool project, though.
A lot of brains, everybody. So I'm glad you went with that, and I hope you'll come see it.
Yeah.
Stories Guskabe is even better. So what this is our collaboration with the Penobscot Nation. Carol Dana is a language holder and a storyteller. And we're working with her and Margot Lukens to bring their Still They Remember Me Volume 1 to the stage. This will be a full organization, what do you call that? Project. Full organization project between our Dramatic Academy, which is our 33-year-old educational wing, and the theater itself. We've never done that. We've never combined a class and a professional production. So the class starts in January. In February, the artists arrive, and the class will then join the professional production to culminate in the show, which opens February 29th. So we are asking for support for that. But if you'd like to also support Constellations, I am seeking support. Okay, I think that's my time.
Thank you so much, Jen.
That was great.
And I'm gonna go back to bed now.
I'll bring my papers.
From the library. The next year, the library is kind of embarking on an overall theme for the year. What is the main story? So we're kind of taking different things each month or so to kind of explore beyond like the tourist vision of Maine. What are some important stories that are going on in our state? And one of the things we wanted to do was bring the Robert Shetterly portraits. And he has over 270, but we found 12 that have people that have specific ties, community ties to Maine. So we thought some living, some not. These would be interesting stories to share with the community. I'm excited to say that beyond this, we now have a partnership with the high school to do a program to have the students in the arts classes submit portraits. Now, it's not just portraits, they're also a narrative about. So when Robert Shetterly would interview subjects, he would come up with a line or two that he thought encapsulated, their truth and what they did for their community, and he'd etched that on the portrait. So part of the learning is like either interviewing yourself or interviewing other people about their truths. And this is what we kind of want to do with the students. And then we're going to have a workshop as well with the public, with Robert Shetterly. And that's part of the grant application, to have him come in and talk about how do you do a portrait or something. And you don't have to be a great artist, right? You can come up with different ways to kind of tell somebody's story through words or through images. So that's what we're looking to do.
I'm going to clarify something. I'm on the art committee
Yes.
at the library. It's not just a partnership with the high school, but really it's kind of a K-12 approach and a community approach too, that there's going to be kind of an open call for anyone who wants to participate. There'll be some guidelines on the library website that will give them some parameters for what to do and when to do it. So we really like the idea that it's a broader community invitation.
Right. And it could be beyond the high school. I mean, the Bangor, it could be John Babst, right? And we talked about maybe
Community brewer schools,
anybody in the area
John
that wants to
Babst,
kind of
anyway.
join in on this, and they'll be exhibited. So the idea is they'll also be exhibited alongside the portraits or in advance of the portraits being exhibited. So.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Good job.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Nice to see so many new to me faces. I'm Renia. I'm the executive director of the Bangor Symphony, and I am here to talk about our grant proposal for an outreach project that we have in collaboration with one of the pieces that we're going to be performing at our season finale. So I've written up a little thing here that I'd like to just read through. We will be ending our season, our 128th season, with a program of works by our Grammy Award-winning music director and conductor, Lucas Richmond. One of the pieces, Concerto for Violin Paths to Dignity, is part of a countrywide project developed by Richmond and violinist Mitchell Newman to bring the power of music to unsheltered communities. Mitchell Newman is our concertmaster this year for the Bangor Symphony Orchestra, and he will be the guest soloist on this piece in April. With this project, the BSO endeavors to play a role in addressing the challenges facing the unsheltered community of Bangor. The BSO can bring awareness to the needs of our unsheltered community members and offer an opportunity for connection within our communities with this concert and associated outreach events. Our application requests support from the Commission on Cultural Development for 2 free and open to the public small ensemble concerts and lecture presentations that we have planned for April 2024, which will be the same week as our Symphony Orchestra performance. The first will be at the Union Street Brick Church for community members who receive services from the Storehouse, Bangor area homeless shelter guests, and others who use the shelter's free lunch services, BSO subscribers and supporters. The second will be for Community Care Shaw House guests. So this project is part of a larger overarching, good morning, welcome. It's part of a larger overarching project that our music director, Lucas Richmond, has envisioned. He's already done this in a couple other places around the country. And what it is it's the culmination event is the large symphony orchestra performing this piece that he wrote in dedication to addressing the needs of awareness around the homeless communities. And what we would like to do with this grant is asking is that we will have little like satellite projects around this larger project, which actually becomes part of the project overall. So we will take some of our musicians from the orchestra, including Mitch Newman, our concerto soloist, and including Lucas Richmond, our music director, to go to bring the music to these people, right? Because a lot of times people who are in need are not able to go and have an emotional experience with music or have some sort of a soulful connection with others outside of what their immediate needs are, right? Homelessness, right? It's a big need. So aside from that, making a connection with a person with a personal touch and through music can be just a revealing experience to individuals, and they can start to feel the humanity of connection between people, and music absolutely has the power to do this. So this grant proposal that we are asking for is to bring our musicians into those communities, because we have no expectation of those communities coming out to the Collins Center, although we will absolutely invite them. But if that is not possible for them, we want them to have an experience that is personal and meaningful. And that is what that's what our grant application is about. I'm happy to answer any questions about it. I think it's a fabulous project that Lucas has put together.
Thank you so much. I think I might have a question. I think it sounds amazing. I'm just curious. I think I was curious about the budget.
Sure.
And there was a note that 11,400 of the total project expenses take place in Bangor.
Yes.
2,000 for outreach concerts. Okay. So so lodging for like musicians are coming from out
That's
of.
right. So like Mitch lives in Philadelphia, right? So, and most of our musicians that perform in the Bangor Symphony don't live in Bangor. And so they come in for these concerts. When they come in, we have the ability to use them in different ways, not just for the concert itself. So one of the things that we provide our musicians as part of their compensation package outside of the fee that we give them is hotel lodging, right? And so that is part of our fee in doing these projects. If we're going to be bringing these musicians to do these projects outside of their let's say a Friday to Sunday time that they come for the symphony, if they're going to be coming Monday to Wednesday as well, we are going to need to put them in hotels. And so that becomes part of their compensation. So they're not expected to take that on themselves. The other part of that is marketing for these specific events. We use a local marketing company, Osborne Media. And so that also becomes part of the expense that is spent in Bangor. But yes, the musicians, it's a combination of fee and housing. And so that compensation package is larger than the 2,000.
Gotcha. So the 84,000, like the total expenses, is that all for the two ensemble concerts?
No.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be amazing? No. That is for the entire project. So that
Like the
includes-
countrywide project?
No,
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
sorry. That is for the project that we are bringing here. So it includes outreach projects for small ensembles, which is the note amount, 11,400. It also includes amounts for our orchestra production of this piece on Sunday at the Collins Center. It also includes the commission fee that we paid Lucas to as part of the commission consortium with other ensembles for him to write this piece. And so that amount, that 84, is a totality of what we are taking on to do not only these projects in Bangor, but also things in the greater Bangor area.
Thank you. For that.
Of course, yeah. I know it's a little confusing, so happy to clarify.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Other questions? Yeah. Thank you so
Great,
much.
thank you.
Hi, Jane. So we just had 3 speakers present to us. Chris, of course, can't be here. He's teaching. Do we want to,
Yeah,
Jane, as the chair of the
I-
Grants Commission.
I totally was thinking 9 o'clock and thought I was gonna be here early, and so I apologize. But, I don't know whether we want to have, whether you want to have physically the non-rubric.
Well, we got
And
it.
you
in our
have it
book.
in yours, so if
Yeah.
anyone wants another copy, I did make some copies there. What I thought we would do is look at each of the, if it's all right with the rest, is look at each of the presentations, which you've done it, you've asked your questions, and then ideally, we would say, if you have your choice, first, second, third, fourth, could we look at which grant has the most first choice and then consider that one first. I know there have been times when we've said, okay, let's do everything equally, or but we really ought to look at each applicant. And the one that gets the highest ranking, we should look at first and decide whether we want to support that one or not. I defer to the group here if that makes sense, or you want to just throw things out and go from there.
I have another question first about the writers festival. Thank you. That is scheduled to happen December 6th. If we go through our regular process, does that meet our guidelines of when would they get the money, I guess is the question.
Well, we would put it, if you were to make a decision today, we could have it go to the Business and Economic Development Committee on the 21st of November. And then the sitting city council will meet that next Monday. So we could conceivably have it ready for that.
And Chris did acknowledge in his application that he knows that he may not have the money in time for the event, and that's okay. That's sort of addressed in his application, but that's fine.
I don't know if you addressed the issue. I still have some concerns, and my committee didn't agree with me on this, but I still have some concerns. I think the Authors Festival is an absolutely terrific project. Our guidelines for individuals makes me wonder whether it fits within our guidelines, which if you're applying as an individual, you can only apply for 50% of the cost of materials. And that's why we asked for a rundown of what the materials were. So it seems to me, if we were to grant the full amount, we might not be able to disperse the full amount because those are paid as the bills come in. They don't get the money ahead of time. Individual applicants, organizations, once it's approved, they get their money for the project. But individuals, and the thinking is usually that it would be artists, or it might include writers paying for a retreat or something, I suppose. But according to what my understanding is, the individuals have to submit invoices showing the cost, and we can only pay 50% of the cost.
Jane, I know he's an individual, but I think the event is, although he's not incorporated or anything, but it's a festival.
Oh, I think it's a terrific project, but I'm just a little bit concerned about the guidelines. It takes place in Bangor. That's terrific. They're going to raise money. The money that they raise is going to go to a charity, but it's not a Bangor charity. It's a great charity. So I just have some concerns about that. And I probably expect to be overruled by the rest of the committee, but I might even say I would be just as glad to give a personal donation to help cover this. I'm just not sure that falls within our guidelines.
So if say we approve $1,000 for him, and he submits his invoices at the end, what he's paid for materials and supplies, which he did list in his follow-up questions. And then that adds up to 1,500. And so the city can pay 750. The additional 250 would just go back into the commission's account, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Is that a concern? Like, it just means he didn't use all of it and he doesn't get extra, as long as he's aware of that.
Right, so we could say we're approving
Do a max.
Yeah.
like 50% of materials, we need receipts up to $1,000. So if he spends $2,000 on materials, we are paying only half.
Right.
And if he spends As you said, if he spends
Guess what?
1,000 on materials, we only pay 500.
Right.
But on materials, he's given an estimated of 1,000. You know, where's the 1,000?
Right. He
I know,
estimates
what-
1,000 and then he sent a list in his follow-up questions.
On his finance question he did?
Yeah, he sent, Sarah sent it a couple days ago.
Yeah.
These were the questions we asked him after our
I thought I
last.
had.
If he estimates $1,000 in,
Right,
so
so
if his estimate is realized, the most he's gonna be
Yeah,
awarded would be
500.
500.
So maybe, right, but say he
Yeah, I read that,
underestimated
I know.
and ends
Right.
up spending 1,200.
Right,
Since he
Yeah.
asked for 1,000, shouldn't we give him a max of 1,000?
Well, this appears is anticipated.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, you can construct your motion that way, that it's up to a max of,
Yeah, and we can just be really clear when we award him that that's what it is and he has to.
And it's a fundraiser or the extra money that is generated goes to what? I forget.
Katahdin Woods and Waters.
Or
There
does that
was-
indirectly mean that the city is funding that charity?
Well,
Or is there
the,
any conflict of interest
the
there?
money that, as I understand it, the money that comes in from the sale of their book,
Okay.
which is being printed for free. It's an in-kind donation to print this anthology. And then the money that is made from selling the anthology will be a donation to Katahdin Woods and Waters,
Okay.
which is a
Right, right.
fabulous thing, but it's not Bangor. So I just, you know,
But the money that we would give isn't going to the book or the donation. It's going to the materials
Right.
to support the event,
Right.
which is happening in
Yeah,
Bangor.
and
Yeah.
features
And
Bangor writers.
A lot of
Also
Bangor
their
writers.
right.
yeah,
And a lot of other local writers who I'm sure spent quite a bit of time writing and promoting in Bangor.
I think for lack of him being incorporated as a nonprofit, I think wording our motion that up to $1,000 is okay. Makes a lot of sense to me.
Well, I have to say, I agree with Jane a lot, because I had major questions. When we got the materials that we asked, I thought, the money is not, his feeling on the economic development was people would be headed for Katahdin Woods and Water, or that space up there, that unit, and they'd be stopping in Bangor.
Which is very likely.
Well, yes and no, but I mean, it's like.
But that's not what his
I'm sorry,
event is
every
about
one of these
either.
people here, sitting here, what is their economic?
I think having the event at the Bangor Library
Right.
is the economic benefit.
I agree.
And bringing people in
Because he's
for
not,
that.
he's not asking for grant money to fund Katahdin Woods. He's asking for grant money to bring authors to Bangor to have a festival about writing in Bangor. I think we need to separate what the grant money is going to and what might happen as a result of this event, which is the fundraising and the donation that they're making.
Like the list of writers that he's given who are going to come for 2 days, presumably if they come to the kickoff party the night before. I think the economic development that they'll be in our city, they have to eat, they have to, I don't know what else they have to do, get gas, I don't know, but they'll be here. And some of them, are coming from like Swans Island, they might stay overnight, they might get a hotel, Rockland, Presque Isle, like that's a far drive, I don't know, they might be here to the weekend.
Right. I think it also, events like this put Bangor on the map as a cultural destination. And I think we as a cultural commission need to consider that culture isn't just visual art and music and theater. No offense, those are all absolutely included, but it also includes writing. It also includes books and stories. And I think that's really important. And that's maybe a field in which culture can be improved or events can be improved in this town, in that we can do more. So this is a great event that promotes that.
I don't disagree with any of that, but my concerns remain based on the guidelines that we've been.
Right, but Jane, if we do what we're proposing, where we're only giving up to 50% of materials with receipts, does that alleviate your concerns?
That's, I would say that we absolutely have to follow the guidelines and not give more than materials and supplies. Does food for the reception include, is that part of supplies, I guess? Because that's got to be a big part of their expense to fund a reception for the artists, for the authors, and maybe some of their supporters. It's the reception isn't open to is the reception open to the general
Yes,
public?
It was in there.
No, it isn't.
I
Oh,
feel a little complicated, but we're working with Chris at the library on this. It's not open to the general public because the feeling is that there's gonna be too many people, too many authors coming in.
But it is
So-
open to all the authors who are
Yeah.
attending.
But I
this
also
event.
want to say that he is a conditioner. We didn't apply for this because we were very interested in doing the Chandelier. We're putting in-kind staff time and space to support this because we think it's important to come to the thing. But he has required every author to donate at least one copy of one work. And those are being given to the library to auction off. So there will be some economic benefit to the library from this
Yeah.
as well, beyond the charity. I don't know if you put that in. He was conscious that we were doing this a separate application, but.
yeah, yeah, I
Jane,
did
if
read.
So,
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, Barbara.
When we did the book festival in the past, we always had a closed reception. We actually had a dinner for the participants, and they could bring one guest. But the idea was to promote the camaraderie between the authors. And it was always very nice.
As I say, I absolutely think it's a 100% terrific project, but I do have these concerns.
So
Before we go further, did we do, because I was late and I apologize, did we do conflicts of interest before we
oh,
vote?
no,
Because, I think we should go around and see if there are any conflicts of interest. And I would say that, my husband is vice chair of the library board. And I serve on a committee of the symphony. And we've been donors and supporters of all three organizations. I think I can judge the grants, and I personally think we should fund all three of them fully because they're all terrific. But if people feel I should recuse myself from any of the voting, I'm glad to do so.
I don't have any conflicts of interest.
Chris is a friend of mine, but I believe I can be neutral.
I'm on the library art committee, so that makes me a little prejudiced.
I was going to ask as the retired director of the library, is that a conflict?
Well, my only connection to all three of you financially is Penobscot Scott Theater, because I do support Penobscot Theater with a donation.
Yeah, I'm a
twice a year,
supporter of all
plus
Subscriptions.
I take it forever and amen. And yes, I am there tonight for the children's at 5. And then as a subscriber, I am seeing the show the second time for free.
good job.
I have no conflict of interest.
So if anybody thinks that somebody does have a conflict, you would just offer a motion that, for the group to discuss if that particular person has a conflict. But if not, then can move along.
I do feel that maybe Cal might recuse herself from voting on the libraries.
That's fine.
Does that need to be a motion?
It should, yeah.
That's a motion I put forward.
I second the motion.
All in favor? Okay, it wasn't, I don't know, it was conflicted, so now I don't know, I think that was foreign or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
what was that vote? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I guess it makes sense,
Yeah.
Sort of assumed that by seconding that's my vote, but it's not.
Okay.
No, I think, and then there was still only 3, I think. Anyway, doesn't matter, it's
Okay.
voted now.
Yes.
Pass.
Now, how about
Do,
Jan?
So should we take each, we have $20,000+ available. I think it's closer to 23. I'm not sure we get the final figure. So we obviously have enough funds to grant all the requests, should we choose to do so, and still leave us around 8,000 for our spring cycle. Is that correct? So, yeah,
So I would like to move that we fund all of them.
I think it's best to have a separate motion for each
Especially
one.
if you feel that, there's, people aren't all in consensus on it, then I would take them separately.
Sure.
Yeah.
then let's go one by one. Unless anybody else has other concerns or questions.
I just
about
had
any of
one
them.
question for Jane. In the past, have we ever funded events where the money goes to, the event itself and not the person? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of thinking about what you were saying with the authors. Have you ever done that before, where the money is going to support an event?
I think whenever we've had individual applications from individual, it's been for an artistic project that's
Right.
rather than an event.
So they're
I'm
art
not- I'm not
supplies.
aware that we've ever funded an event that was not
Yeah,
being put on by an entity,
and yeah, okay.
and if the library had chosen to make this their application instead, it would have been a total no-brainer. But
But that would mean they wouldn't get funding for the other
Yeah.
ones, if they can only apply for one.
Okay.
And I mean, this is a little bit of a gray area, but we did fund an individual artist in the spring who, it was for materials, but it was for materials for a very specific exhibition,
Right.
which
At the
is a little bit
Zoman.
like an event. And
Right.
it was happening at the Zoman, or it will be happening at the Zoman. In my mind, that's a little bit similar. We could also maybe, or question, could we, for Chris, also make the stipulation that it's supplies and materials for the festival, not for the private party the night before?
That's part of the 1,000. Isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, some of these things, I think maybe cost potentially more than he's thinking they will.
Right, like the programs, I
Right.
don't know how much those are gonna cost, but
Right.
that would be such a
And like
easy thing for us to feel that we can fund. It's
Right.
materials, it's for
Like-
the event, it's for the public.
large welcome and podium banners are not less than $100 to print, it's, these things are not that cheap, so he might spend 2,000 and be able to get reimbursed up to 1,000 on just materials for the event.
Could the dinner be seen kind of as a retreat or collaboration?
I mean, I'm also
No.
fine with seeing the whole event as a total and letting him decide what is materials, and I'm just wondering, since there are still concerns about refreshments versus materials.
I think the refreshment issue is always a gray area whenever there's an event. Is it necessary?
100%. It's not free food and drinks.
But where does, how does it get funded? That's all. I'm not saying anything pro or con, but I know that I've been involved in other events where that's been a discussion. So we're not the first. to have that problem.
All right, maybe what we do
Would it be okay if we just, took a motion for each one?
Yeah.
Just start, go right down. I get the feeling that everyone's pretty supportive of all these projects. So I would move that we support the Penobscot Theater in the amount of $5,000 as they
I second.
request.
All right. I move that we fund the Bangor Public Library Americans Who Tell the Truth exhibition at $2,000. And
Second.
I just noticed something on here that's a little weird, so I'm just gonna bring it up. It says exhibit of 12 photo portraits. They're not photo portraits, they're painted portraits.
Okay, that was just a summary from what from.
Yeah, I
reading
just
it,
don't
but
want anybody to misunderstand.
we'll consider that.
The motion says that as proposed, that would be the full. Yeah.
Yes. Did we vote? We had lots of seconds.
You can vote
Okay.
on.
Cal
just the
can't vote on
library,
that
you
one.
can't.
That is
Yeah,
the
that
library.
is the
Yeah.
library. All right.
Oh, I didn't think I could vote on any of
No, just that one.
Just
That's that one.
them.
Yeah. Great.
I move that we, fund the, Bangor Symphony.
A second. And we vote.
We're easy, aren't we?
Sometimes.
And I move we do the opera festival
You're gonna
up,
specify,
up to $1,000 for materials.
A second.
Oh, I'll second. I'd like to put a condition on there, that he provides us with the detail, with a listing of the expenses, not just.
Well, he has to provide,
He can't just
invoices.
provide, he's got to justify
Yeah, we need receipts.
the breakdown
that's-
of material.
those aren't paid until we have
His
received
receipts.
Yeah.
copies of
Correct.
the invoices,
Yeah,
and
that
then
is-
we can fund up to 50% of it, yeah.
Yay!
Any other business?
I wanted to throw in something for the asset committee if I could.
Oh, yes.
So I'm working with Will Harper, who's the ArcGIS person. And he's gonna help us get the story maps all figured out. We're gonna get login so we can edit them. He also has a lot of really awesome information about how we can have quasi websites that don't have to follow all of the city design elements, which is really cool. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for a city website to be redesigned, we could do something like that for October grant committee, all that jazz.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask if he can either join one of our groups here and do a little presentation in the next few months. That'd be okay with you guys.
I assume he wants to be paid for all this.
Well, he works for the city.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
wow, okay.
He's very excited about showing us, like, there's a lot, we pay for a lot of really great services through ArcGIS, and so we want to use them. And I think it's a really good idea.
Maybe we could schedule for your January meeting, because I know
Yeah.
next month you've got,
Justin.
yeah,
If you
So-
can go.
yeah, January.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him and talk to
Okay.
him.
Meeting.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great.
December, we will be meeting at the new facility.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There is a meeting room at Penquist that we'll be using when we moved down the street. I'm not sure if your first meeting in December will be there or here. So I'll know more as we get closer to the date. But definitely in January, you'll be meeting at Penquist. Yeah.
Is there December? I might be jumping
Hmm?
list here. Is there a December meeting on December 1st?
Mhm,
Or
yes.
December 8th?
Yeah.
First.
December 1st.
Yeah,
8:30.
it's likely you'll probably still be here for that one, but I'll verify and get back to everybody.
that was a very short
It
Um,
was.
meeting, but the projects were all just
Yeah.
fabulous.
I know. It's great.
Adjourned.
Yeah.
Motion.
Have you invited Justin? Are you in touch with?
I
You know him?
will invite her. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do that today. Yeah.